Hello, and welcome to the first eWay CRM live webinar for 2018. Today we focus on the new General Data Protection Regulation that is coming into force within the European Union. The new legislation is commonly known as GDPR. eWay CRM has always been a company that maintains sensitive client data in a responsible and diligent manner. However, certain changes must be implemented to adhere to the new legislation. During the webinar, we will not only explain what the new legislation means for companies, but also deliver some exciting new features within our own product that will assist eWay CRM users with meeting the new GDPR requirements. Many customers hold personal sensitive customer data and also obtain data from various sources to study customer behaviour. This data is associated with significant risk if stolen or abused. This is why GDPR was introduced to enforce how customer data is used and protected. GDPR legislation was adopted by European Parliament in April 2016. Following a 2-year post-adoption period, GDPR will become enforceable as of the 25th of May 2018. GDPR applies to everyone involved in the processing of data related to individuals in the context of selling products and services to citizens in the EU, regardless of whether the organisation is located in the EU. Therefore, GDPR is also applicable to customers based in the US and Canada. There are 4 key GDPR requirements that eWay CRM can assist you with. They will also form the agenda for today's webinar. They are as follows: permissions and sensitive data, managing marketing permissions and creating consent request email campaigns, data portability and access rights, the right to be forgotten. And finally, we will be holding a question and answer session, but we kindly ask that you email your questions beforehand to the following email address. Now, what are the implications for breaching the new guidelines? Organisations can be fined up to 4% of annual global turnover or 20 million euros, whichever is greater, for non-compliance. So, it's very important that we pay special attention to the new GDPR legislation. Now, let's take a look at the new features available within eWay CRM 5.2 that will assist you and your organisation with being GDPR compliant. In order to assist with meeting GDPR requirements, we have prepared 2 main new features which we recommend to activate. The first, a general set of functions designed specially for GDPR. The second, a function for tracking changes within items. For example, automatic tracking of who changed the email address on a contact card and when. GDPR requires that if we are requested to change or update data belonging to a subject, we must act accordingly and also be able to evidence that the data has been updated, by who and when. So, let's show you how to switch on the GDPR features. As you are aware, we will be operating from within Outlook. Open the administration settings. Select Global Settings, Category Main, and then you'll notice the second line from the top now says Apply General Data Protection Rules (GDPR). Double click the cross, check the box next to Apply General Data Protection Rules, and press OK. eWay will automatically preempt and ask you if you want to navigate to turn on the Field History Tracking section. Please click Yes. We recommend that you select the function for contacts, companies and deals, although, as you will see, you can activate the field history tracking for any of the other modules. For example, projects may be applicable but not relevant to GDPR. Now, let's show you what the field history activity tracking actually does. If we open up a particular contact, let's load up a familiar contact, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. And if we assume Mark has actually asked us to update his email address, all you will do is you make the necessary amendments, you click Save, And then a quick synchronization by right-clicking on the eWay agent icon and pressing synchronize to ensure changes have taken effect. This is not necessary, as eWay CRM will automatically synchronize with the server every 30 seconds, but for demonstration purposes we want the changes to take effect immediately, therefore we've done a manual sync. Now if I click on the History tab, we can see the previous value, the new value, who modified the record and when. This is very important to adhere to the new GDPR legislation. As you will see, a very effective way of managing this. Now, let's move on to permissions. As you will see, when opening a contact, there are various different elements of personal sensitive customer data. They could be email address, it could be date of birth. Let's show you how to hide particular fields via column permissions. Again, please load up the administration settings. This time, select column permissions. Select a module of choice. For demonstration purposes, it will be the contacts module. Let's show you how to hide the field date of birth. Double click permission level and then select users don't see this column. Again, a quick synchronization of eWay. And then, if we load up a contact again, we now see that the previously visible date of birth field is now hidden. As you will see, a very easy way of hiding personal sensitive data fields. Now, another area of GDPR, protecting client data and preventing it from being stolen or abused. Now, as you will see, it's very easy for me as a user to simply load up the contact or companies module or deals or projects module and pressing Ctrl A, right click, export list, and I can export the whole entire internal database to an Excel spreadsheet. Very, very security risk. Now, let's show you how to prevent this from happening. Again, load up the administration settings, this time with module permissions. We will select the contacts module, and here we can see export. Select no. Again, a quick synchronization of eWay. Now, if I try to export the list, this is now grayed out, protecting the database, thus preventing any security exposure. Now, let's move on to our next section, consent and marketing permissions. GDPR requires that a personal data processing consent record is recorded, a unique record for every processing purpose. What this means is that a subject might agree that we keep his or her personal data for the purpose of sending educational materials. However, if we haven't received his or her personal consent for this purpose, we cannot use it for that purpose. Despite the fact that a vast majority of companies will be recording just one consent, normally for marketing, we will demonstrate how to use this function universally. We create a set of fields in eWay CRM. These fields represent when consent is received for processing purposes. We can choose either classic checkboxes or record the date and time. Recording the date and time allows us to filter when a contact gave us consent. This is important if we need to renew our consents periodically. So, let's show you how to record processing consents. Again, please open up the administration settings. Click on Custom Fields. Click on the module where you want to record the consent. We recommend at the contact level. Select New. You can select either a classic checkbox or date field. For demonstration purposes, we will create a date field. You will then name the field, for example, Date Marketing Consent Received. We've already created the field here. Now, if I load up a particular contact, you will see the custom field is now visible. however incomplete. Let's explain the process of actually receiving the processing consents. Generally speaking, you will send a bulk email requesting for the subject's consent. The consent will be granted by clicking a hyperlink sent within the email. If the subject clicks the link, his or her consent will automatically be recorded at the contact level against the box that we created here, date of consent for marketing purposes received. This is because we have some back-end technology where we can link a hyperlink sent via a professional email marketing campaign to a custom field. First of all, let's show you how to link that. Again, please load up the administration settings. This time, select custom fields, but select marketing campaigns. Again, in the top left-hand corner, select new. This time, you will select the custom field URL. To create the technical link between the two, simply type in the characters URL space dash space and then type in the exact name of the custom field that we created earlier at the contact level. Now, we've already created this field here. Now, let's show you how everything comes together. Please select New, Marketing. Type in the name of your campaign. For example, Marketing Consents. Press Save. Edit your list. You can send to companies and contacts or deals or a bespoke list. For demonstration purposes, we will send to our entire contact list. Please click Apply. Then click Add. Then Action. However, there's one key thing we need to do before we send our bulk email. We need to link the hyperlink URL to ensure that it will auto-update the custom field we created. The type of hyperlink we suggest is something like this, taking your subject to a landing page, confirming that they have automatically subscribed and consent to being part of your marketing list. So, simply copy and paste the URL and add this to the marketing campaign here. Then send your bulk email. An example of the bulk email will be something similar to this. As you can see, a simple request from your subject, a link to the landing page, and we also recommend a link to your privacy policy and your business terms and conditions. Now, let's show you how to validate the email campaign. You can start to validate your email campaign the moment your campaign reaches a status set. Simply click on the Journal tab, then with Column Chooser, right-click above any of the column headings, ensuring that we include the column Note. Then simply copy-paste your URL for your landing page into the search bar, and then we can see any of our contacts from our recipient list who have clicked the hyperlink URL. We can see that George, demo user, has clicked the hyperlink. Now, double click here, open the contact, and we can now see that the date of consent for marketing purposes field has automatically been updated, not only with a date and time. As you will appreciate, a very effective way for managing consents and marketing permissions. Now, let's move on to our third section of today's webinar, data portability and access rights. According to Article 15 of GDPR, every subject has a right to ask the controller for what kind of information is recorded and for what purpose. So let's show you the process from the initial request received by email and also written requests. First of all, find the email, double click on the email. In the top of the toolbar, please click GDPR Relevant. When prompted, please click Yes. This will save the email to eWayCRM in exactly the same way as the Save to eWayCRM button has. Now, ensure that the email is being linked to the correct contact or deal or project, and then click Save and Close. Very simple, very straightforward. Now, let's show you the process for a written request. We've received a request from Prince Harry requesting for removal of his details from the marketing list. You can, from the Microsoft Word add-in, simply click Save to eWayCRM. Again, please ensure that it's being linked to the correct contact. You can classify the document in any way you see fit and press Save and Close. Very simple, very straightforward. Don't forget to process the request though. Obviously, you will either be sending an email to the customer confirming, or you will be removing their consent. Therefore, simply open up the contact. Double check that the document has been stored here. Again, with Column Chooser, simply right click, add the field GDPR, and we know that this is a GDPR relevant item. But we know that Prince Harry has actually requested for us to remove his consent from the marketing list. Therefore, we simply delete and save and close. As you will see, a very effective way for managing requests from your clients, whether that be via email or written. Now, let's move on to the final section of today's webinar. The right to be forgotten. According to Article 17 of the GDPR legislation, a subject has the right to have any personal data related to him or her erased by the controller. If the GDPR function is activated with an eWayCRM, as we demonstrated at the beginning of the webinar, deleting the record will also delete the complete history. This means we will delete all journals, emails, documents, tasks, calendars and meeting records only. This operation is irreversible. So, first of all, you will save the subject's request. Here we have a request from Meghan Markle. She would like us to delete all personal data that we currently hold for her. So, how do we do this? Let's locate the record first of all. Notice the delete button now has a red exclamation mark next to this. This signifies that we have a slightly different type of erasure feature. The feature now contains multiple warnings that joined items will also be erased irreversibly. Again, this means all journals, documents, emails, tasks and calendar entries. The content will also be deleted from all marketing campaign lists. CAPTCHA should make this more prominent. Now, to show you how we evidence this, first of all, for demonstration purposes, I will copy and paste the email address here for Meghan. I will then click delete. I will type in the CAPTCHA to confirm my request and press yes. The contact has been deleted. However, if Meghan were to call or write and ask, can you evidence that the data has been deleted? Well, this would be quite challenging because effectively Megan has now been deleted from our database. But we have devised a way to evidence this, which is still safe and secure. We delete the data, but also encrypt the data. Therefore, we use a special type of encryption you can find most generators online. Simply paste any sensitive data relating to the subject who requested for her entire record to be deleted. We copy-pasted the email address. Select Generate. We see this encrypted string that is generated. Simply copy-paste this string, go back into eWay and log into the Journals module. Again, ensure the field Note is visible. Copy-paste your string and we will see we have a completely encrypted string that cannot be decrypted, which refers to the item that was deleted from the module Contacts on the date we can see here. This is irreversible. Now, after deleting one of the newest members of the royal family, this concludes our demonstration for today. So, we ask you to keep calm and be GDPR compliant with eWay CRM. Thank you.